I just wrapped up 3 really inspiring days at ICON17, which is Infusionsoft's small business conference. And there were 3 themes that I really found were carried across every keynote, every breakout session, every lunch and learn, and these were really something that was kind of just iterated over and over again. So I want to share these 3 kind of themes with you for how to carry your business forward and make it even better than it is today. I had never attended ICON before, and I was really interested in coming. I wasn't sure if it was going to be all Infusionsoft-based stuff, if there was going to be some business stuff, if there was going to be self-development, inspirational kind of stuff, and really there was all of that. The way the conference is set up is that there's keynotes, but there's also breakouts, so you can go choose to learn things specifically in area of focus. So if you wanted to go to Facebook ads, you could do that. If you wanted to learn Infusionsoft stuff in a workshop, you could go do that. If you wanted to do personal development stuff, you could do that as well. And there were 3 really big themes that across every keynote and breakout that I went to, whether it was technically focused, business focused, or personal development focused, there were 3 big themes that everyone seemed to be talking about. The first big theme that I'm taking away from ICON17 is people. Your network, your customers, the people you hang out with, those you surround yourself with, your team, your mentors, your coaches, the people in your life, in your business, they matter. And they should matter to you. And they matter if they're good quality and that they're lifting you up and they're inspiring you to greater heights, or if they're negative clients or negative team members and how you kind of weed through that. But everyone was talking about how essential teams were to their success, like Jillian Michaels as the keynote speaker, or Marcus Lemonis was another keynote speaker, and he has his 3 Ps, and one of them is people, and he was sharing how much vulnerability is an asset, that if we are willing to almost overshare in any type of business, it's really more rewarding that way. You're invested in people and you care about them, and us caring about them and asking our team members, our mastermind buddies, our coaches, hey, how are things in your life? This is going to impact the bottom line on your business, and it's not something that we always think about. We're so focused on the numbers and the how-tos and the strategy that we forget that there's people, or if you're a solopreneur like me, I'm sitting behind a computer all day by myself, and I forget about the people, that when I'm talking on Facebook, it's a person on the other side. So to really take care, to be vulnerable, to be open, to be caring, and to really make sure that the people you are choosing to be in your life, in your team, in your business, as a client who is coaching you, that they are aligned with your values and that they are lifting you to greater heights. The second big theme that I'm taking away is the idea of implementation. And this is something that is stressed at conferences a lot because you're doing all this intense learning, you're hearing about this and this from all the people, and you go home, you're so inspired and you've taken all these books of notes, and you go home and you have 100 emails to answer, you have a family to now, interact with and catch up with, and you have clients that have projects due. And so you don't implement. You're left so inspired with all these ideas and plans, and you never got to the implementation piece. One entrepreneur shared that he actually schedules a week after conferences where he still pretends he's off and implements all these great ideas, and I thought that was really smart. Not from a conference perspective, if you're just kind of sitting at home. One thing I love about being an entrepreneur is I love reading books. I'm a lifelong learner, and I think that makes a great entrepreneur. But if I take stock and I'm honest with myself, I've invested in courses that I've never followed through with. I've bought books that I actually may have read or didn't read and didn't implement. I probably know all the shoulds, woulds, and coulds of what would move my business forward. But if I take a minute and I'm honest with myself, I don't implement 90% of it. So implementation is something I'm really taking away, especially as it relates to implementation in Infusionsoft. I was in a session hosted by James Ashford, and he was saying you build the pipeline and then you seal the cracks. So you can't wait to A/B test everything and come up with the perfect emails. Just build it, and then one step at a time, tweak things, make them better, but you won't ever know if you don't just start somewhere. So do your next project, build your sales page, put a price on there, do your book, write your book, whatever that would be. Do the project that you've been dying to do and then fix it later. And I feel like another place people get stuck with implementation is like, oh, I want to do this when I have the time. So a couple, they say keep the most important thing the most important thing. And I know we all kind of struggle with that. But if you can just get one thing done a day, or maybe you're too busy, get one thing done a week, that's going to move you forward. And then another piece that was shared was to have a thinking day, to once a month, once a week, as often as you can, block out a day on your calendar, get out of the house, write an agenda for yourself, have a meeting with yourself, and really be focused on strategic thinking for your business. So implementation was, probably in every breakout session they were stressing, make sure that you go home and do this if you spent the time to learn it. And so I just wanted to pass that along to you to make sure that you are learning and implementing and not just learning all the time. And then finally, for me, another thing that I'm taking away is to just play bigger and to dream bigger. This conference was way more inspirational and motivational than I had thought. I thought it was going to be pretty on the technical side, given that, a lot of Infusionsoft nerds and marketing nerds were here. And I really thought it was going to be super technical. I thought it was going to be like, here's the formulas you do for perfect Facebook ads, perfect campaigns, and there definitely was that. But from the keynote speakers was just such a call to follow your passion, live your purpose, all these great motivational things, and to play and dream so much bigger, to not just be focused on what we need to do now, but what's your 5-year goal, what's your 10-year goal. Lisa Nichols was the keynote speaker to close it out today, and she was sharing this amazingly powerful thank you visualization that brought me to tears. And if you know something about me, I'm not really too overly emotional, but it was so powerful, and if I can find it, I will definitely share a link. And just being surrounded by real business owners who were doing 6, 7, 8 figures, to know that that's super doable, that these were just normal people who had been at it 5 to 7 years, who were growing these bigger empires. As someone who's focused on one-to-one services right now, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to see where I'm going in 5 years, but that doesn't mean I can't dream about it. Doesn't mean I can't try new things. Doesn't mean I can't put myself out there in a bigger way and be a little bit more visible. And also just to let fear be a motivator, not a paralysis. And that was something Jillian Michaels was sharing, just like whatever your fear is, we ruminate on it, and if you've ever had that experience, your greatest fear and all the things you're trying to do to avoid it is what ends up happening. So rather than trying to avoid the fear, just like don't let the fear let it be your motivator and not your paralysis. Let it be something that motivates you to overcome it, to show that it's not going to happen, to fight for whatever it is that you want. And so I hope by kind of sharing these takeaways, you will stop and take stock of the people in your life and in your business, that you will focus on implementing more in your daily and weekly schedule, and that you will play and dream bigger with me, and I would love to support you in that.